We are talking about Katrine, formerly known as CopyKat, and let's talk about how she is very good at routine. And it's not necessarily that she's going to be the one who's going to fulfill the action of the routine or pattern that she sees, but she is really good at seeing those fixed patterns. She does have these power skills, and she's just a powerful person in the now. She is here meant to understand things in the now that other people just don't hear. I know you guys can't hear the background, but it's just distracting me.
Hey, you got longer shorts than those? What? You got longer shorts than those? No. You don't? No, they also pulled up. When you're bending over. So try to find some better pants. Thurs. Huh?
Yeah, she's great at ASMR. I was trying to see in her chart where her ASMR is,
Flaps here should be shown, right?
but everybody's yelling at each other in the house. Kat's ASMR is very relaxing. Yeah, she's very gentle with what she does. Very much appreciated.
Bend your stance. You feel it. That's all I'm saying. That's a question. What? Are you just
Okay, well, maybe I can start my reading now. It seems like they're done doing what they're doing. Welcome, and today we are going to be talking about Katrine, better known as CopyKat in her former days. And let's talk about how she's a person who understands routine and fixed patterns. She's a person who's good at making schedules. It's not necessarily her who's going to put out that schedule, but she's really good at understanding the best pattern. She does have these power skills. She is this powerful person, and she does understand what it is to be in the now. She's a person who hears things in the now that other people just don't. So if she's standing on one side of the room and somebody's saying something on the other side of the room, she'll somehow be able to hear it if it's meant for her. Another part of her that is really fun and unique is that she is such an individual person. She probably felt herself like an outsider to the people around her. And we're not talking about how you feel about her as a person, but it's talking about how she felt as herself in a crowd. She probably felt like the freak. But once people recognized her for who she is as a person doing her unique thing, she was then accepted as the genius. So it flops back and forth, freak to genius, you know? But she is meant to be here to be this unique individual repeating her pattern over time. That's when she'll be inspirational. That's when she'll be empowering. But she is a person who is charismatic, where what she thinks about has to become deeds. And this must really eat at her, that her brain is just going and going and going. And her body feels like she has to put that in action. Just because she thinks it doesn't mean she has to do it. And I'm sure she's learned a little bit by now that that's something that she has to respect, is that her body only has so much energy, and that there's nothing that she has to prove, not even to herself. She's a person who is here to structure things. She's going to have these insights, tear it down, assimilate it, do it over again, structure it. Have these insights, assimilate it, structure it. And that's how she's a unique being. She is a person who's uniquely meant to do what she's meant to do in the now, charismatically. And just because she's doing one thing right now, charismatically, it doesn't necessarily mean that it'll always be the same thing. Because she knows what risks are worth taking. She just needs to listen to her body. She can't do anything spontaneously because her body isn't made up like that. She needs to listen to her oohs and ahs. She likes starting things just to finish them, so she might just skip a few steps in between, and she might find herself becoming frustrated because she moved so fast, and she needs to find herself repeating those steps again. But yeah, she's this ambitious person. This ambitious person who likes. Sorry, when I was literally meant to say beginnings instead of endings, but that's all right. Just switch all those words around. She is a person who knows where to go to get the contracts signed. She has the feels and she knows how to name an experience. And she's here to birth something new and to take care of that something new. She may not necessarily know, but she does know in the moment what's correct for her. And what is that? Well, she knows that she's a person who is here to contribute. She's a person who is here to have this creative self-expression. And once again, she'll end up being this creative role model, this inspirational role model when she ends up doing what is correct for her. What could make Katrine frustrated? Well, feeling like she needs to prove herself. There was a roll in of sexualized ASMR and things changed, and maybe she felt like she had to prove herself in different ways there. Maybe she didn't. Maybe she felt like she had nothing to prove at all. Nowadays, I feel like she feels like she has nothing to prove at all. And that's beautiful. Good for you. But maybe sometimes you feel like you have to be inspirational or prove that you're inspirational, prove that you can answer all of these questions or that you do have the answers to the questions. If not, you might just prove that you can figure out how to go about getting them. You might be frustrated when you hold on to people, places, things, and experiences that no longer serve you. Or you might be frustrated when you let go of things that do serve you, like the support systems that are good for you. Maybe she's going to feel frustrated when she feels the pressure to grow her environment and she steps on it and does it. Nobody's going to pressure her in any sort of way to do anything at any sort of timing except for what's correct for Kat. So she's always going to feel that physical pressure to grow her environment. She's always going to feel that mental pressure to be inspirational. But just because she feels the pressure, it doesn't mean she needs to act on it again. She might have this nervous energy about her. But she also might get frustrated proving that she's a nice person, nice guy. Maybe she's telling too many truths and getting herself into trouble, or not telling any truths at all, and also making herself frustrated. Katrine is all about her network. What is good for her environment and what's good for the people around her is her brotherhood, her sisterhood. She is here to understand what it's like to have those tight few and then the many. So it doesn't surprise me that she's a streamer because she does have that tight few, I assume, and then there's many her followers. She won't, like, there's kind of like a barrier there that she won't let too many people in. And when she does, you only get so many chances. If you burn her, you're not going to be let back in. And yeah, you've burnt that bridge. So she will give you so many chances, but once it's burned, you're never allowed back across. She is a role model. Role model of what? She knows what's coming, what has come by, and she's here as a, well, when she was in her younger than 30s, she was always seen as this wise being. And now that she's moving out of her 30s, she's going to move in this little cocoon stage, but she might already be seeing the cusp of this. So I wonder what the next few years are going to be like for her, where she's just protected from all the things that happened in the first part of her life. And she just is aloof and doing her own little thing. We could continue talking about many aspects about who she is. Her body's is busy, and her brain is just thinking that she is this inspirational role model, and that's all she's got to give. But we could talk about how she sleeps and how she's much different when she sleeps, and we could talk about how she learns, how she digests. We could talk about biology and all that fun stuff, but we're going to leave you guys here, and I hope you enjoyed what we were talking about, and thank you so much for watching.